Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Kevin, I'm with Mod1, and today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to use the Molex Extractor tool. There are a number of different tools like this on the market. They all function pretty much the exact same way. We, however, prefer the Molex version for this product. So does MDPC, that's why they offer it, that's why we offer it. It's just the best quality, it's constructed the best way, and it's got the best design here at the tips. So the next thing to look at here is we have some female ATX connectors, and what I've done is I've taken a Dremel tool and I've surfaced off the top of the connector, which gives us a viewing window to the inside to really see what's going on. Last but not least, I have a wire here with a 16 gauge Molex female terminal crimped to the end, and let's just take a closer look at it over here. So first what you see is, and this is what's highly talked about, is the insulation crimp or the strain relief, and then next you have the core crimp or the conductor crimp. Now real quick, I just want to take a side note and say that I've seen a lot of different tutorials out there talking about crimps and PC cable sleeving, and they always highlight the insulation crimp. Well, unfortunately, that's actually not the most important part of the crimp. The most important part of the crimp is the core crimp, and that's for two reasons. For one, believe it or not, this is where most of the strength comes from. You could actually bust these terminals off and just crimp this alone and try to pull that terminal off, and it's going to be pretty well on there. If you do it the other way around, where you don't crimp these, you cut those off and then you only crimp this, that terminal is going to fly right off. So, you know, this is important. This is more important. So that's it for that subject. Next here you have these two vertical tabs which stick up. These are called terminal stops. This prevents the terminal from going too far forward inside of the connector. And if we take a closer look on the inside, you can see those two grooves that are side by side. That's where those terminal stops slide into, and you can see right there at the edge, that's where they bottom out. All right, and then last but not least, we have these locking tangs here. And what these do, they act just like barbs on a fish hook, so that they can press as they make their way into the connector, and once they pass through, they will expand open and then prevent the terminal from pulling out the back side. So the terminal stops prevent the terminal from going forward, and the locking tangs prevent the terminal from pulling out the back side. So let's slide our connector over here. So this is the top viewing area of the connector, and you can see here I've left this center section in place. This is where those two grooves are for the terminal stops. I left those there so that we can actually have the terminal lock into place. So let's start by sliding in the terminal, and you'll notice that when I'm going to stop. Once I really push this in, you're actually going to hear a little pop, and what that pop is it's the locking tanks spreading back open and the terminal seating in place. And that's really what you want to hear, or at least feel, to make sure that it's in there all the way. So I'll be quiet and you can hear it. There we go. Now it's popped into place, and you can see that those locking tangs have expanded outwards, and I can't pull this out. I'm tugging on it, it's not going anywhere. I'm pushing forward, it's not going anywhere. It's completely locked in place. So next thing is you want to take your tool and you want to run the tool along the inside sides of the terminal and start making your way down. Now, before I get too far, one thing that can happen, and it's common, and I believe this is how most breakages of this tool occur, is when one side goes alongside the terminal, the other one goes inside the terminal. Now again, you can see here how this is just going to break your tool if you kind of keep pressing on it, and you're never going to get this terminal out. So just make sure that when you're doing this, that those tabs on the tool are running along the side of the terminal, not inside. So as I keep pushing down, you're going to see what's going to happen to those locking tanks is that they're going to compress. There they go. And now that they're compressed, they're not in effect anymore, and we can pull this wire right on out. And that's how you do it. So let's try it one more time. Push in, pop into place. The terminal is not going anywhere. Get our tool, run it along the sides. Push in, those tabs will recess, and there we go. The wire comes right on out. So it's as simple as that. That's how the tool works. Now, I'll tell you that when I first started doing this, this was about 6 years ago, I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out how this tool was working because I kept pressing and pressing. I know it was in there correctly, and I just couldn't get that wire out. Well, unfortunately, with low quality connectors, by the way, these are aftermarket connectors. They're not Molex branded, but they're the ones that we offer. They're high quality, which is why you saw as soon as I put that tool in there, it was real easy to retract. Sometimes connectors are a lot more finicky, and you're not able to actually extract that wire as easily as you can. And that's not the tool. That's the problem with the connector. You can push as hard as you want to with this tool, and all you're going to do is damage something. Once that tool has hit the point of resistance where you can't push it in anymore, that's it. It's done its job. The tabs on those locking tanks, they're not going to compress anymore, and all you're doing is denting the inside of the plastic when you're doing that. So the only way, unfortunately, to deal with that is you want to put the tool inside the connector. You want to have it in there firmly, press hard, but not too hard, and you really just want to pull harder on the wire. My experience, the worst thing that can happen is that one of the little tabs that stick out the sides, one of them will basically kind of flip around and do a 180. That's worst case scenario. If that does happen, you can try to just bend it back, although I would just recommend crimping a new terminal. If you don't have a crimper, if you don't have spare terminals and you just need to keep going, I would just say bend it back and just hope for the best. So that's it for the video. I hope you guys found it informative. Thanks for watching.